Ever since Roblox's creation, there have been incidents and mistakes that have happened on the platform that Roblox would most likely want you to forget about. Now, just a fair warning for the sake of you guys, some of these incidents that will be mentioned may contain serious topics, so just keep that in mind as I progress on with the video. But with all that out of the way, let's go over the first incident. Now, our first incident that we'll be talking about may be the most tame one throughout this whole video, so let's get into it. Now, let's call this event the Great Outage, aka Roblox's biggest outage. Some of you Roblox users may remember a time back in October 28th of 2021 where you couldn't even access the whole platform for around 72 hours and 45 minutes to be exact, or in other words, over 3 days. This meant all users of Roblox couldn't play games, much less access the site. This also included game developers, meaning this outage paused their revenue from their games for a whole 3 days, which may not seem like much, but when you're a developer trying to squeeze every penny out of your game that could start to die out at any given time, it can be a pretty big deal given the circumstances. What's really incredible about this specific incident is that the whole Roblox team took an entire 3 days just to get the site running again, even though Roblox, as I've said a few times before, is a multi-billion-dollar company. Now, the reason this outage occurred is speculated to be because there was an overload of players on the site. I mean, that may be why, because obviously this incident happened on the week of Halloween, meaning the majority of the front page games had an Halloween updates, so maybe there were so many players on the site, which first caused avatar glitches, then later caused a Great Outage about an hour later. That may be the reason, right? Well, this wouldn't be the only time this would occur. There would be times that Roblox would just crash. The cause of these outages was explained by someone in a comment section under a Creekcraft video, particularly going over the fact that Roblox's code is old and that code and the prototype one can break when something is added to it, things such as new layered clothing. This is why certain things have a limit, such as friends list being capped to where you can only have 200 friends per account, or only being able to block 100 people max. Since Roblox and its code was worked on a longer time ago, if some things were to be changed with it, it would probably cause issues which could explain why these outages happen, including the Great Outage. But that's pretty much just a speculation, but the most possible reason as to why this happened. The Crosswoods Incident, an event a good amount of you may recognize, began to take place on July 18th of 2022. There was a game on Roblox called Crosswoods A.2, but this wouldn't be your normal average game you would come across. Upon joining the game, there would be some red cloudy skybox along with your screen violently shaking. Then a couple of seconds later, you would be greeted with this disconnected message on the screen, which shows that you were kicked from the game along with the Discord server link. More on that later. After you leave the game, you would then be greeted with a Roblox punishment. For what, you may ask? Well, for things that you never even did. Basically, what this game does is terminates your account for nothing you did, but for something the game did on your behalf. However, in more explanatory terms, there is a code within the game that when you join it, it will, I guess, kind of trick the automated Roblox moderation system into thinking you said very bannable things when you actually didn't. And believe it or not, this became a pretty big thing at the time. Live streamers such as Clark T1000 were tricked by a fellow viewer to join this exploited game. On the topic of exploits, this exact exploit has apparently been around for longer than we realized. But back on the main topic here, there were numerous people and live streamers that were tricked into playing these games and losing their accounts permanently. And I mean, what all could you really do if this happened to you? Tell Roblox that you didn't say those things and expect them just to believe you just from that? That's what's very special about this exploit. It's that it makes you look like you did the bannable offense when you can't really prove you didn't because I mean it's quite literally right there. It's pretty much just being framed just by simply joining a Roblox game. Now for the owners of this game, the DWC, apparently have their own Discord server which is linked in the disconnected message. But believe it or not, this incident gets deeper when we log onto their Discord server. Now, these next things I will be stating have been in speculation for over a year now and have not been quite literally confirmed nor denied. Apparently, upon joining their game, these people were at one point able to get information out of you such as your IP address, legal name, passwords, emails, and basically just your essential information on your Roblox account. It has also been speculated of what method has been used for this, according to the screenshot of someone who has apparently investigated the DWC. There are even screenshots apparently associated with either the DWC or their server, or both, which contain docs messages, which have real information of innocent people in it, at least from the information I'm seeing here. Now, keep in mind most of that stuff is in speculation, and I'm not going to confirm this as straight facts just from a couple of screenshots, but just keep that in mind as you never know when these people may return one day. Now, unlike the previous incident I've gone over in this video, this one in particular is the most sinister one by a landslide. Now, before we proceed, viewer discretion is advised as this next segment talks about pedophilia and other similar topics, so if you're sensitive to topics like that, then I suggest clicking off now. Anyways, imagine you're simply playing Roblox as a 9-year-old child, looking for games to play. Then you become friends with a fellow Roblox user you begin to gain trust with. They even claim to be your own pastor. Then as time goes on, they begin to make very demanding requests for explicit images of yourself. And he would begin to make threats of taking your life. This exact situation is what happened to a 9-year-old Spokane boy on Roblox. This situation got so bad that the police was even involved. On November 4th of 2021, there would be a news report on YouTube regarding this incident, aka the Spokane Incident, which explains how this 9-year-old boy had this 4-month friendship with a grown man who the boy was manipulated into thinking it was his own pastor. The grown man in which would make demands for this little boy to send explicit photos and videos of himself, which unfortunately resulted in this kid sending 25 new photos and as well as 5 videos. This man would also learn about what had happened in this boy's family history, which contains one of his family members taking their own life. After the man had learned this, he had threatened to shoot this 9-year-old child. To make things worse, this predator even tried to get in contact with this boy's friends and even asked this other 9-year-old girl, which was a friend of the kid, for nude images as well. But thankfully she didn't send the predator anything. Now, according to the news report, the police have tried to find out this person's true identity, and the most they got at the time was the username for the Roblox account of the predator, in which the one he was using to groom these children. But they never found their true identity at the time. I did some more digging and I was unable to confirm if the predator was ever caught, so if he is still out there, I truly hope the law enforcement catches on and gets him arrested for good.